Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, the content that I'm going to cover for you this morning is going to blow your socks off. Make sure you send this to everyone that you know in the gun world, because the Brady Gun Control Group, one of the main gun control groups in the United States, is now going international, specifically into Mexico. If that rings a bell, everything is going to be linked in the description box below. I cannot wait to show you this entire incestuous chain, which is now going, again, global, all against our gun rights here in the United States. But we are going to pass that blessing on to the next generation. So, with that said, I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor, Vulcan Arms, and then we're going to dive into it, and I cannot wait to show you what they're up to in Mexico. The Vulcan Weatherlock gun bag has one-of-a-kind technology that resists the elements. Their Weatherlock technology is revolutionizing the way you store your firearms. Whether you're on a trip to the range or working out in the field, the Weatherlock series can stand up to the toughest environments. They have an IP rating of IPX6. This means our bags protects against dust, dirt, and mud and resist water jets of extremely high pressure with no punctures. These bags are water resistant, puncture resistant, easy to clean, and lightweight. If you are looking for something that really takes your game to the next level, check them out in the description box below, and thank you so much to Vulcan Arms for sponsoring this content. All right, my brothers and sisters, as I mentioned in the intro, Mexico, Brady Group, gun control, going international, everything is tying together. And this is going to ring some bells if you have been a viewer of this channel for about 2 months now. What I'm going to cover for you is an article from Politico. It's linked in the description box if you want to read the entire thing. But let me know in the comments field when some alarm bells and some directions start aligning and you're piecing together these breadcrumbs, because it's all coming together right now. Let's get it. All right, here's the article. Why a top official at a top gun control group left to become an agent of Mexico. You think Mexico. If you've been watching for about a week and a half, month and a half, somewhere in that range, you would know that Mexico was actually doing a gun control push in litigation against the firearms manufacturers, blaming gun trafficking. Interesting how that happens the same time that the top leader from Brady leaves and goes to Mexico. Check this out. It's not even a coincidence anymore. They're flat out saying it. This came out today. Former top lawyers at the gun control advocacy organization Brady have formed a new gun policy venture, and they're registering as foreign agents of the Mexican government as part of it. Again, that lawsuit that was thrown out in federal court against all manufacturers that prosecutors and liberal DAs here in the United States signed on to, and attorneys general, yeah, we covered that too. Well, now they're going after the Arizona level of gun sellers and gun shops from the Mexican government. Interesting how these things all align. As I always say, there are no coincidences. Check out what they're doing. The new advocacy group, Global Action on Gun Violence, we're going to hear that a lot more, aims to address cross-border gun trafficking from the U.S., according to filings with the Department of Justice. The group, which has not yet formally launched, intends to represent foreign governments or others rallying against the gun industry and lobbying in litigation. It is led by Jonathan Lowy, the former chief counsel at Brady who directed the organization's legal arm for years. Now, just going to do a little soft pause. You guys remember all the talking points? Common sense gun legislation, they're for the Second Amendment, they have firearms themselves. Everyone's part of this, we can just come together on this. Any of those things ring a bell? Well, interesting how now you're going into a foreign country and you're launching lawsuits from the foreign country against domestic U.S.-based firearms manufacturers from the Brady Group. It's almost like this is a crusade against against the Second Amendment for control. This is not about common sense gun reform. If it was, you'd stay in your own country. But now you're going to Mexico and you're assailing our rights from there through a different avenue. Guess we shut that door a little too hard on you. Anyway, let's keep going because there is even more. And like I said, they don't even hide it. Advocates have long shed a spotlight on illicit trafficking of firearms into Mexico, arguing that it fuels drug trafficking. But Lowy's move still represents a major shift in the world of gun policy advocacy. Lowy has been a key player at Brady, which has helped wage some of those high-profile legislative fights around gun control, but primarily in Washington, D.C. and state houses. The launch of the new group underscores how the theater for action has expanded globally. You mean the theater for control. Again, if you were about common sense gun laws and common sense gun safety as you propose to be, you'd stay domestic. But you're going international in order to sue the same companies that you cannot sue domestically. Again, it's almost like the door shut too hard and your search for control is too great. Let's continue, because I've got even more from this new Global Action on Gun Violence. Earlier this month, Global Action on Gun Violence quietly filed paperwork with the DOJ under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, with Lowy and Elizabeth Burke, who are also an attorney at Brady, registering as agents of Mexico. So you're registering as agents of Mexico in order to sue gun manufacturers domestically in the United States in order to curtail the Second Amendment freedoms of Americans across the board, and the DOJ is giving you carte blanche to do it? Yep, that sounds about right. Let's keep going. Gun control advocates have warned that the proliferation of guns in the United States is fueling destabilization in Mexico, as weapons pour into the country illegally via straw purchasers who pass on the weapons to smugglers, said Stephen Hargarten, an emergency physician at the Medical College of Wisconsin and gun violence researcher. It's estimated that there are more homicides in Mexico linked to U.S. guns than there are in the United States. How is that possible if Mexico is a full gun control state and there's more than here? Seems counterproductive for your point. Let's continue, because Global Action on Gun Violence, whew, that's a new one. Global Action on Gun Violence filed a lawsuit in Arizona against U.S. gun dealers on behalf of Mexico earlier this month. That's the second one that they've done. Same group. The lawsuit alleges that the companies choose to sell guns using reckless and unlawful practices despite the foreseeability, indeed virtual certainty, that they are thereby helping cause deadly cartel violence across the border. These are the exact same game plans and game plays that they used in the United States that did not work and they got shut down. They're going international to assail from a different perspective. Lowy explained that the goal was to go beyond litigation, suggesting that the group would lobby around legislation and regulation of gun companies on behalf of foreign governments or people outside the U.S. Just to put this in perfect summation, the same people who ran Brady for years, Brady Gun Control in the United States, are now going to Mexico. They have sued manufacturers from Mexico registered as foreign agents of Mexico with United States DOJ, who knows about it. They're curtailing the Second Amendment rights, or attempting to. That lawsuit got thrown out because the Global Action on Gun Violence lost that case. So they came back with another one against smaller gun dealers in Arizona, all from Americans that came from Brady.org or Brady Gun Violence. And now they are going at it from an outside perspective, going into our country, representing a foreign entity. You don't get much lower than that. Again, tell me how this is not about control. That's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next episode. I'm Braden. See you later.